When people ask whether hell is mentioned in the Bible, the answer is yes, but not in the simple, clearly defined way most people assume. What we call hell today is not presented as a single, unified concept in Scripture. Instead, it is built from several different ideas that develop over time across many books, languages, and historical contexts. In the earliest parts of the Bible, particularly the Old Testament, the primary word used is Sheol. This term does not describe a place of punishment. It refers to the realm of the dead, a shadowy, silent existence where all people go after death, regardless of whether they were righteous or wicked. It is described as a place of darkness, stillness, and inactivity. Figures like Jacob speak of going down to Sheol in grief, not as a punishment, but simply as the natural destination of the dead. At this stage, there is no clear concept of reward or punishment after death, just the reality of death itself. As time progresses, especially in later Old Testament writings like the book of Daniel, a shift begins to take place. A new idea emerges: resurrection and judgment. Instead of everyone sharing the same fate, some are raised to life while others are raised to shame. This marks a significant development in biblical thought. The focus moves from death as a final state to the idea that there will be a future reckoning where outcomes differ based on one's life. By the time of the New Testament, the Hebrew concept of Sheol is expressed using the Greek word Hades. While Hades can still refer to the realm of the dead, it begins to take on additional meaning. In certain passages, such as those found in the Gospel of Luke, Hades is depicted as a place of conscious experience. There is awareness, distinction between comfort and suffering, and a clear separation between different groups. However, this is still not presented as the final judgment. It appears more like an intermediate state rather than the ultimate outcome. The most intense language about judgment comes from Jesus Christ, who frequently uses the term Gehenna. Gehenna originally referred to a real valley outside Jerusalem, the Valley of Hinnom, which had a history associated with destruction, fire, and corruption. Jesus uses this location symbolically to describe the consequences of judgment. He speaks of unquenchable fire and imagery that suggests irreversible loss. However, the exact meaning remains debated. The Greek word often used in these contexts can mean destroy, ruin, or lose, which leaves open the question of whether the outcome is ongoing suffering or complete destruction. In the book of Revelation, the imagery becomes even more intense and symbolic. The lake of fire is introduced as part of the final judgment and is described as the second death. It represents the ultimate end of death, evil, and judgment itself. Some passages describe torment continuing forever and ever, while others emphasize finality and destruction. This creates tension in interpretation, as the text uses powerful imagery that is not always clearly defined in literal terms. A major turning point in how these ideas are understood comes through translation. When the Bible was translated into Latin and later into English, distinct terms like Sheol, Hades, and Gehenna were often all translated into the single word hell. This had the effect of merging different concepts into one unified idea, even though they originally carried different meanings. After the New Testament period, early Christian thinkers began to systematize these ideas. Some, like Augustine of Hippo, argued that punishment must be eternal and conscious. Others, like Origen of Alexandria, believed punishment could be corrective and temporary, eventually leading to restoration. Still others held that the wicked would ultimately be destroyed rather than tormented forever. There was no single, universally agreed-upon interpretation in the early centuries. Over time, especially during the medieval period, the concept of hell became more detailed and vivid. Influential works like the Divine Comedy by Dante Alighieri helped shape the popular image of hell as a structured place filled with fire, punishment, and vivid suffering. These depictions had a powerful cultural impact, but they go far beyond what is explicitly described in the Bible. When all the biblical material is considered together, three main types of language emerge regarding the fate of the wicked: destruction, torment, and separation. Some passages emphasize death, perishing, and being consumed. Others describe fire, suffering, and anguish. Still others focus on exclusion, darkness, and separation from God. Different interpretations of hell arise depending on which of these strands is emphasized and how the others are understood. In the end, the Bible does speak clearly about judgment and consequences after death. However, it does not present a single, systematic definition of hell as it is commonly imagined today. Instead, it offers a layered and developing picture shaped by language, context, and time. The modern concept of hell is best understood not as a direct, singular teaching from one passage, but as a synthesis of multiple ideas brought together through interpretation and tradition. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you being here. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, leave a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. And while you're here, click on the video you see on screen to keep watching. Your support helps this channel grow and keeps content like this coming. I'll see you in the next one.